Why is it that the kindest souls are often the most broken? Why do those who give everything end up with nothing? Today, we will uncover a dangerous truth. Being too kind is not a virtue. It is a weapon turned against you. And if you don't understand this, it will destroy you. I am not here to flatter you with illusions of goodness. I am here to show you reality as it is, not as you wish it to be. Machiavelli taught us that in the ruthless theater of life, kindness without strength is suicide. So today, we will dismantle 4 illusions that have blinded countless men and women to their own downfall. Why being too kind will destroy you. Kindness is praised by poets, glorified by priests, and demanded by society. Yet in the cold mechanics of human affairs, excessive kindness is not a blessing but a liability. A man who makes kindness his primary weapon walks willingly into the jaws of predators. For people are not angels, they are selfish, ambitious, and ready to exploit any advantage. The one who gives too freely, who forgives too easily, who refuses to harden his heart, soon finds himself empty-handed, powerless, and broken. The world does not respect boundless kindness, it consumes it. Consider the weak ruler who seeks love above fear. He lowers taxes, grants pardons, and listens to every plea. At first, the people praise him. They call him merciful, generous, even divine. But soon their demands grow. They are never satisfied, for human desire is endless. The more he gives, the more they ask. And when he cannot meet their growing appetites, they turn against him, accusing him of betrayal. His kindness, once his crown, becomes his noose. A ruler who cannot say no, who cannot deny or punish, is not a ruler at all, but a servant dressed in royal robes. The same principle applies beyond the throne. A man too kind in friendship finds himself surrounded not by allies, but by parasites. He lends money that is never repaid. He offers help that is never reciprocated. He sacrifices his time for those who would never sacrifice for him. And when the day comes when he is in need, he discovers the truth, that most were drawn not to his character, but to the ease with which they could take from him. His kindness blinded him, convincing him that loyalty was earned through generosity, when in reality, loyalty is earned through strength, through the ability to command both respect and fear. Too much kindness is also dangerous in the art of trust. A kind man believes in the goodness of others, but such belief is naive. Trust is not a gift. It is a weapon that must be granted carefully, for in the wrong hands it becomes a dagger pointed at your heart. The overly kind soul accepts promises at face value, confides secrets too quickly, and assumes the world is ruled by the same gentle conscience that guides him. But men are not ruled by conscience, they are ruled by desire and necessity. The man who trusts without testing, who believes without questioning, will inevitably be betrayed, and betrayal always cuts deeper when it comes clothed in friendship. Excessive kindness also destroys through honesty. A kind man believes it is noble to speak openly, to reveal his thoughts, to bare his soul in the name of sincerity. But the world does not reward sincerity, it exploits it. To tell every truth without calculation is to hand your enemies the very tools they need to undo you. Words spoken in kindness become confessions in the hands of rivals. A cunning man, even a cruel one, knows when to speak and when to remain silent. The kind man, bound by his need to be honest and good, betrays himself long before his enemies betray him. Finally, we must understand that kindness without limits becomes weakness in disguise. A man who is always agreeable, always forgiving, always accommodating, ceases to be respected. He is not admired, but pitied. People take his kindness as proof that he lacks strength, that he cannot assert his will, that he does not command authority. Respect is born from balance, the balance between generosity and discipline, between mercy and justice. If a man is kind without the ability to enforce boundaries, his kindness will invite exploitation rather than admiration. He becomes the well that is drained dry, the fruit that is consumed and discarded, the ruler who is mocked behind his back by those who once praised him. This is why being too kind will destroy you. For kindness without strength is a fire without heat, a sword without edge, a shield made of glass. It shines brightly for a time, but the moment it is tested, it shatters. If one wishes to survive, one must learn to temper kindness with power, to wield mercy with discretion, and to give only when giving does not invite destruction. For the world is not shaped by those who are endlessly kind, but by those who know when kindness serves them, and when it must be withheld. Why being too weak is dangerous, let me ask you a question. What happens to the lamb that strays too far from the shepherd? Does it survive on kindness, or is it devoured by the wolf? In this world, weakness is not forgiven, it is punished. And the man who confuses weakness for virtue will discover too late that his life has become a banquet table where others dine at his expense. Too weak is too dangerous, for weakness does not protect you. It mocks you, it exposes you, and it calls predators to your door. When you are weak, your words carry no weight. You may speak with compassion, you may preach generosity, but no one listens. Why? Because respect is built on strength. The strong can choose to be merciful. The weak have no choice. The strong can set terms. The weak must accept them. Imagine a ruler who wishes to be loved but has no power to enforce his laws. At first, his subjects will flatter him. They will smile and bow, but inside they laugh. They know he has no teeth. And when the time comes, when discipline is required, when order must be kept, his weakness will betray him. His people will not obey out of loyalty. They will scatter, they will betray, they will revolt. Weakness is not only physical, it is moral and psychological. The weak man cannot say no. He cannot resist pressure. He cannot enforce boundaries. He bends, he yields, he compromises until nothing remains of his will. And here is the cruel irony. The weak believe their compliance will protect them. They imagine that if they just keep giving, if they just keep pleasing, the wolves will spare them. But wolves are never satisfied. Every concession you make convinces others that you can be bent further. Every time you give ground, you invite someone else to take more. Weakness does not buy safety. It only ensures that the taking never ends. Now, think about the one who is too weak to defend what he owns. His wealth is not his own. It belongs to the opportunist waiting to seize it. His honor is not his own. It belongs to the liar who dares to insult him, knowing there will be no consequence. His time is not his own. It is consumed by others who know he lacks the strength to refuse. Weakness is the silent invitation to be used, and those who live too weakly will be used again and again until there is nothing left. Look carefully at human nature and you will see why weakness is so dangerous. Men are not governed by compassion, they are governed by interest. If you are strong, people calculate that it is better to ally with you than to oppose you. But if you are weak, the calculation is reversed. Why should anyone treat you with respect when they risk nothing in crossing you? Why should anyone keep their promises when breaking them comes without consequence? Weakness destroys even the possibility of loyalty, because loyalty without fear or respect is fragile and fleeting. Let us return to the image of the lamb and the wolf. The lamb does not wish to harm anyone. It grazes peacefully, but its weakness makes its peace irrelevant. The wolf is not moved by pity, the wolf is moved by hunger. This is how the world works. Your intentions, your kindness, your gentle heart, none of these protect you when you lack strength. People will smile at you while quietly sharpening their knives. They will promise friendship while planning how to exploit you. And when the moment comes, they will strike, not because they are evil in every case, but because weakness itself is a temptation too great to resist. What does the weak man do when confronted with aggression? He retreats. What does he do when insulted? He endures in silence. What does he do when wronged? He forgives too easily, not from virtue, but from fear. And so he becomes predictable, and predictability is death in a world driven by power. The weak man is like a city without walls, open to every invader, subject to every raid. His gates are never closed because he lacks the will to close them. Weakness, therefore, is not harmless, it is not noble, it is not virtuous. It is an advertisement to the world that says, here is someone you can take advantage of. Here is someone you can betray without consequence. Here is someone who will bow rather than fight. And once that reputation is set, it is almost impossible to escape it. People will treat you as weak because they know you are weak. They will test you, they will push you, they will press until you break. Why being too trusting is dangerous, tell me. What happens when you hand a stranger the keys to your house? Do you assume he will guard it as carefully as you do? Or do you realize that you have just given him the opportunity to rob you blind? Trust, when given too freely, is no different. It is the most dangerous gift because it places your safety, your secrets, and your future in the hands of another. And when that trust is broken, it is never by accident. It is because you gave away power that should have remained yours. The man who trusts too easily believes the world mirrors his own heart. If he is honest, he assumes others are honest. If he is loyal, he assumes others are loyal. He sees goodness in everyone because he does not wish to see the darker truth, that people will lie, deceive, and manipulate when it benefits them. And so he walks through life blind, mistaking predators for companions. He thinks he is surrounded by friends, but in reality, he is surrounded by actors, each waiting for the moment when his trust can be turned into advantage. Consider the ruler who trusts his advisors without question. At first they flatter him, they speak sweet words, they claim to serve his interests, but in their hearts they serve themselves. They use his trust as a shield, making moves in the shadows that he never sees. By the time the truth reaches him, it is too late. His decisions are compromised, his enemies are already inside his gates, and his throne trembles beneath him. He thought his trust built loyalty, but what it truly built was the stage for betrayal. Now bring this closer to daily life. A man too trusting in love believes every word whispered to him, every promise made in moments of passion. He gives everything, his time, his wealth, his heart, without hesitation. And when the mask eventually slips, when betrayal is revealed, he is left shattered. Not because betrayal was inevitable, but because he made it effortless. By trusting blindly, he placed all his defenses in the hands of the very person who would break them. Trust is not a virtue when it is unguarded. It is a weapon, and like any weapon, it can be turned against you. The enemy does not need to storm your walls if you willingly open the gates. The rival does not need to discover your weaknesses if you confess them freely. And the manipulator does not need to force your obedience if you hand it over willingly, believing their lies. The overly trusting man becomes the architect of his own downfall because he refuses to see the malice that exists in human nature. Machiavelli himself warned that a wise man must trust slowly, and only when there is proof that trust is deserved. But the one who trusts quickly cannot see proof because he does not look for it. He confuses charm with honesty, confidence with integrity, and promises with guarantees. He takes people at their word, forgetting that words are the cheapest currency. Anyone can speak them, but few honor them. And when the time comes to act, when loyalty is tested, he learns that most of those he trusted never intended to stand by him at all. Do you see how dangerous this is? A single misplaced trust can undo years of effort. A single betrayal can ruin a reputation, collapse a fortune, even topple a kingdom. History is filled with men who were destroyed not by open enemies, but by those they trusted most. The general who revealed his plans to a confidant, only to see them handed to the enemy. The merchant who trusted his partner, only to be robbed of everything he owned. The leader who trusted his people too much, only to be overthrown by the very masses he wished to protect. The trusting man believes he is building relationships, but he is building chains that bind him. He believes his openness will create loyalty, but loyalty cannot be bought with blind faith. Loyalty is born from fear, from respect, from the recognition that betrayal carries consequences. Without those conditions, trust is merely an invitation to be deceived. And once a man is known for trusting too easily, his fate is sealed. He will always attract deceivers, for deceivers search for one thing above all else. Someone who believes too quickly, someone who questions too little, someone who hands over power in the name of faith. Why being too honest can be dangerous. What would happen if you revealed every thought that passed through your mind? What if every weakness, every fear, every plan, and every desire you held was laid bare for others to see? Would they reward your honesty with loyalty, or would they use that knowledge to control and destroy you? This is the hidden danger of honesty. While honesty is praised in theory, in practice it is a weapon often used against the one who wields it too carelessly. The man who is too honest believes he is virtuous. He believes that by speaking the truth openly, by hiding nothing, he proves his character. But character does not protect you from manipulation. Truth is not always respected. It is often exploited. When you reveal everything, you give others a map of your soul, and the clever will use that map to strike at your most vulnerable places. It is not always the lie that destroys a man. It is the truth spoken to the wrong ears. Consider the leader who speaks his every intention. He tells his people his exact plans, his strategies, his weaknesses, his doubts. At first, they may admire his openness. They may call him transparent, noble, even courageous. But soon, his enemies begin to take note. They listen closely. They record his words. They adapt their strategies. His honesty, which was meant to build trust, becomes the very tool that leads to his downfall. A ruler who reveals too much is not respected. He is predictable, and predictability is fatal in the game of power. Even in the simplest relationships, too much honesty is dangerous. Imagine the man who speaks every thought without restraint. He tells his friends their flaws without tact. He admits his insecurities without filter. He confesses every mistake, every weakness, every doubt. At first, people may laugh, may call him genuine. But in time, they begin to lose respect for him. They see him not as noble, but as weak. And when the moment comes, when conflict arises, they use his own words against him. Every confession becomes a weapon. Every revealed weakness becomes an opening. The one who cannot control his honesty cannot control his fate. There is also the danger of honesty in politics, in business, in negotiations. The man who reveals his true price, his true intentions, his true position, will always be at a disadvantage against the one who conceals. The cunning man smiles, nods, and says only what is necessary, while the overly honest man empties his pockets, showing every card in his hand. Negotiation is not about truth, it is about leverage. And the man who is too honest surrenders his leverage before the battle even begins. Machiavelli warned that rulers must learn the art of deception. This does not mean one must always lie, but it means one must not always tell the truth. Truth is a tool, and like any tool, it must be used carefully. Too much honesty is like giving away a dagger and then turning your back, hoping the person holding it will not strike. You may believe your honesty proves your good nature, but the world is not ruled by good nature. It is ruled by ambition, by self-interest, by survival. The more you reveal, the easier you make it for others to outmaneuver you. Think also about honesty in love. The man who reveals every detail of his past, every thought in his mind, every insecurity in his heart, believes he is building intimacy. But what he is truly building is exposure. The wrong partner does not see his honesty as love. They see it as weakness. They learn how to manipulate his fears, how to twist his words, how to control his emotions. Honesty without restraint is not intimacy, it is surrender. The wise man learns to master silence as much as speech. He knows when to tell the truth and when the truth must remain hidden. He knows that every word he speaks can either strengthen his position or weaken it. Honesty is powerful when it is rare, when it is deliberate, when it is used with calculation. But when it flows endlessly without discretion, it loses its power and becomes a liability. The one who is too honest does not realize he is writing his own downfall with his own words. He believes he is building trust, but in reality, he is building a trap, and he himself will fall into it. Why being too nice is dangerous? What do people truly think when they meet someone who is always agreeable, always accommodating, always smiling, always saying yes? At first, they may call him kind, generous, or noble. But the truth they whisper behind his back is far less flattering. They call him soft, they call him weak, they call him someone to be used, someone to be taken advantage of, because niceness without limits does not command respect. It invites exploitation. The man who is too nice believes that kindness will buy him love, loyalty, and protection. He believes that by making everyone happy, he will secure his place in the world. But niceness without strength becomes servitude. When you are too nice, people do not see a strong character. They see an open door. They push, they demand, they take, because they know you will not resist. The one who cannot say no, the one who refuses to confront, the one who avoids conflict at all costs, becomes a servant to everyone else's will. Think of the ruler who is too nice to punish his subjects. He forgives every crime, overlooks every betrayal, bends to every complaint. At first he is praised. His people call him merciful, they call him humane, but soon order collapses. Criminals grow bold, rivals grow ambitious, the people lose discipline. Why? Because his niceness has no teeth. He has traded fear and respect for affection, and affection is fleeting. A ruler who is too nice to be firm is not loved in the end. He is despised for his weakness. The same is true in personal life. The man who is always nice to everyone becomes invisible. His words carry no weight because people know he will never oppose them. He is invited only when he is needed, spoken to only when he can provide something. His niceness becomes his curse because it strips him of value. Why respect a man who never asserts himself? Why honor a man who never demands anything? Niceness without boundaries transforms a person into a tool, and tools are used until they are broken. Niceness also carries the danger of false expectations. The overly nice man believes that his efforts will be rewarded in kind. He gives, he sacrifices, he compromises, all while expecting loyalty and gratitude in return. But human nature does not work that way. People grow accustomed to what is given freely. They stop seeing it as generosity and start seeing it as obligation. The more you give, the more they expect. And when you finally refuse, when you finally reach your limit, they do not thank you for everything you did. They resent you for denying them more. Niceness does not secure loyalty. It breeds entitlement. Even in matters of love, too much niceness is poison. The man who showers his partner with endless flattery, endless gifts, endless concessions, believes he is proving devotion. But devotion without strength is not attractive. It is pitiful. It shows a lack of independence, a lack of self-respect. And soon the partner begins to take advantage, or worse, to lose interest entirely. For desire is not built on endless niceness. Desire is built on respect, and respect requires boundaries. Machiavelli warned that it is better to be feared than loved if one cannot be both. This is not because fear is noble, but because fear is reliable. Niceness without firmness inspires neither fear nor respect. It inspires complacency in others and self, destruction in yourself. A wise man knows that kindness has value only when it is paired with strength. To be nice occasionally is a choice. To be nice always is a weakness. The danger of being too nice lies in the illusion it creates. You believe you are loved, but you are only used. You believe you are respected, but you are only tolerated. You believe you are winning friends, but in truth, you are surrounding yourself with opportunists who see you as easy prey. The world is not gentle with those who are endlessly gentle. The world consumes them, drains them, and discards them once they are empty. So now you see the truth. Being too weak makes you prey. Being too trusting blinds you to betrayal. Being too honest arms your enemies with the very tools to undo you. And being too nice reduces you to nothing more than a servant for the desires of others. Kindness without strength, trust without caution, honesty without restraint, and niceness without boundaries are not virtues. They are traps. The world does not reward those who give themselves away too easily. It rewards those who know how to balance mercy with firmness, openness with secrecy, generosity with discipline. The lion may terrify, and the fox may deceive, but together they survive. To endure in this life, you must learn to carry both. Be kind when it serves you. Be honest when it strengthens you. Be trusting when it is earned. Be nice only when it does not cost your respect. Anything more will destroy you.